Okay, moving on to the final matchup that we have here on our weekday slate. We're staying in the Mountain West after dark. We have Air Force, a 3.5-point favorite on the road at San Jose State. This game has an over-under of 47. It also kicks off at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Get those YouTube TV multi-views ready to go as you tuck yourself into bed and grab an extra cup
just
of
come
coffee.
over to my basement, Brett, right?
Yeah,
come on over.
Yep, or visit Kelly, and if you're in the Indianapolis area,
Central
adjacent.
Indiana, y'all come over, shoot me a DM, we'll see what's going on.
There seems to be buyback at Air Force when it hits -3. The second it touches there, it rebounds almost immediately. For San Jose State, their top receiver, Justin Lockhart, he still hasn't played this year. He's quote-unquote out indefinitely with a arm injury. San Jose State actually released a statement before week 0 saying that we are not going to report the status of our players' injuries. Just like a gigantic middle finger in a year that a lot of teams are getting better with reporting injuries. They said, nope, absolutely not. But yeah, the latest report on him is that he is out indefinitely. The Spartans, this is also an interesting scheduling conundrum. I know you like bringing the schedule stuff, so I don't want to step on your toes too much here, but they're returning home, and they're playing at home, which is great, after playing at Toledo, which is a cross-country trip for them, while Air Force actually has a bonus day of rest and played at home last time. So despite the fact that San Jose State is at home, Air Force actually has the travel and rest advantage coming into this game, which I don't think is it's not nothing, that's for sure. Chevin Cordero, he's been balling out even without Justin Lockhart for him. He has 12 what PFF identifies as big-time throws, and he's shown really good escapability and instinct. But there's one really gigantic problem. If we are stripping this down to the absolute most basic blocks of football, San Jose State cannot defend the run very well, and Air Force runs the absolute heck out of the football. They stopped Toledo just 5 times for 2 yards or less on 35 rush attempts. Not great. The Spartans have not been getting the push up front. They have not been cleaning up with their linebackers near or at the line of scrimmage. I also think this is a little bit of an issue with they've defended USC and Oregon State, 2 of the better rushing teams in the country, so you can't fault them too much there. But again, when they went to Toledo was able to get a push up front and run the football and did not get stopped very often. But there is one big disparity, and I do have to shout out Brad Powers on Twitter for sharing this. This is his bit of info, but I'm going to take it. Their strength of schedule currently, San Jose State has played the 19th most difficult schedule in the country, while Air Force has played the 111th strength of schedule. So there's a big disparity there, and that does matter when you're considering these teams, that one has not played a very tough schedule so far, and the other one's kind of been through it. That does give an upper hand to San Jose State just a tad bit.
I didn't even see that, Brett, and I'm glad you talked about it because it's a good segue into what I wanted to touch on here with these two teams. So bear with me for just a few seconds before I get into the two teams and what the numbers say about them. Air Force is 3-0. They have 0.3 more wins than I projected through week 3 in the preseason. San Jose State is 1-3 and has 0.5 fewer wins than I projected through week 3 in the preseason. Despite vastly different records, 3-0 versus 1-3, these two teams are both within a half game of what my preseason realistic expectations were, which is pretty darn good through this many games. I say this to highlight simply how significant the schedule disparity is in college football. I didn't even know you were going to talk about what you just did, and Brad Powers is out there saying it too. I was planning on saying this. Air Force has played FCS Robert Morris, number 126 power-rated Sam Houston, and number 92 power-rated Utah State, with none of those being true road games. The neutral site game against Sam Houston, the only time they were away from home. San Jose State has played the number 4 power-rated USC, at number 45 power-rated Toledo, and home against number 19 power-rated Oregon State, as well as FCS Cal Poly. So 3-0 Air Force, at 1-3 San Jose State. Air Force should be a huge favorite, right? No. My numbers make this a pick'em. I know what the spread is. My numbers make it a pick'em. 51% win expectancy for the Falcons. Schedule. It matters. It's the context we need. Not all records are created equal in college football. Despite the weak schedule difficulty, Air Force has performed slightly better than the model expected, rising from number 70 in the preseason to number 67 currently. Both units have improved. The offense is up from number 107 to number 88. The defense from number 17 to number 10. Brett, this defense is legit. It's the best in the country by far. I understand. Anytime you're talking about service academies, And I know it's a little bit different now at Navy than it's been, but anytime I talk about service academies, people say, oh, just throw that out because they play weird stuff and they play the game differently and they're offense. You just can't take it seriously. This defense is legit. I'm only projecting the Falcons as underdogs in one game the rest of the way. It's the final game of the year at Boise State, a game that could have massive conference championship game implications if things play out the way the numbers suggest. They now have a 45% chance to make the conference championship game. That is second behind only Fresno State. I talked about fatigue possibly setting in for San Diego State. Same is true for San Jose State, who has already played 4 games, and it could be worse even for the Spartans, who have already played 2 true road games, including last week's trip, as you mentioned, across the country to Toledo, Ohio. So again, always talk about the schedule, Brett, both of us. You can't emphasize enough scheduling dynamics, and that is something that is not explicitly factored into my model. Trust me, that is on my wish list of things that I would like to do, but I haven't gotten to that point where I'm comfortable putting in an actual input that I feel comfortable weighting such that it can improve the overall predictive accuracy of them. But it's absolutely a part of the context that we need to talk about.
So I lost my train of thought there for like half a second. So if you read my articles, I'm going to shamelessly plug at the lines. I do an upset alert article each week, and it's basically all done on scheduling spots. It's not usually, hey, I have this rated, I make this a different line than what the market's giving you. It's often, hey, this team just went here. They have a look ahead spot. This other team has a rest advantage. Well, those teams that have highlighted, 10 of them on the year, 10 games, are 8-2 against the spread with 2 outright upsets. And I don't choose +2 underdogs. I'm choosing 7, 8, 9, or more double-digit underdogs. Last week, just to pat myself on the back a little bit, I had Idaho covering the spread against Cal and Weber State covering the spread against Utah. They both did those things. So shameless plug, please read my upset alert articles. They're doing pretty well, and it's based solely on those scheduling spots and some beat up injuries. So I'm glad that you're pointing that out too, Kelly.
8-2 against the spread with 2 outright winners. Yeah, guys, if you're not reading Brett's upset articles and you like to bet college football, I don't like to bet college football, but I'm still going to read the articles. You should too, and take those betting nuggets without a doubt. So yeah, can't overemphasize that. That's awesome. I love it, Brett. I'll switch gears to San Jose State. Despite the 1-3 record, San Jose State has also improved on all fronts since the preseason. That's been a theme tonight. Either both teams have been regressing on all fronts or improving all fronts, which makes for competitive games. The offense is up from number 91 to number 81. The defense is up from number 93 to number 90, so just slightly there, leading to an overall improvement from number 93 to number 77. Again, wins and losses are not inputs into the predictive model used for power ratings. It's all about performance relative to expectation. So even though they're 1-3, the model is saying, hey, you're actually a better team than we thought you were because of how you played in these games. And again, I talked about that schedule that they played, USC, Oregon State, Toledo, who's the best team in the MAC on the road. So all these things go into it. You're actually a better team than we thought by the model standpoint. Moving forward, we're going to judge you that way, and you need to keep playing at that level, San Jose State, to avoid falling down in the model again. Even with the number 3 offense in the conference, my numbers favor Air Force by the slightest of margins. The difference could be the home field advantage here, even though you talked about the rest advantage actually being for Air Force. I have this as a pick 'em, 49% win expectancy for San Jose State at home. Here we go. Air Force, 45% chance to make the conference championship game currently. With a win, it's up to 60. That's a significant jump up. With a loss, 29%. This is a big swing game. Again, there's only 8 conference games in the Mountain West. So this is 12.5% of your conference schedule. Yeah, you're going to get a swing of 15% in either direction almost every week. I mean, if it's a semi-close matchup, which this one doesn't get any closer, I have it as a pick'em. San Jose State, 23% chance currently to make the conference championship game. With a win, that's up to 35%. With a loss, it's down to 11%. So it's a 12% swing for San Jose State in either direction.
Yeah, I don't love the spot or the matchup for San Jose State here. Again, not being able to defend the run very well against Air Force, one of the best rushing teams over the past decade. And then, like we said, the travel disadvantage, the slight rest disadvantage, those are all things going against San Jose State. But when you're talking about a low-scoring conference game, I can understand leaning the home dog in this spot. I don't hate it at all, especially at 3.5, that 3 being the most significant key figure in football betting. I think if I do have to put a lean out here, I have not played this yet, but I think I may. soon here. Air Force minus 2.5 in the first half. I anticipate them being to come out, run the football with a lot of success. Cordero tends to play his best ball when he's kind of like let off the leash, let loose, and playing from behind. At least that's what I've seen over the past year and a half. And have to bring it up. The Troy Calhoun stat continues to cover the spread at a 65% clip over 17 seasons. So bet against Air Force at your own peril. But yeah, if I have to throw something out there, Air Force first half minus 2.5. I think they can cover a field goal spread out of the gate here, especially with the slight rest advantage.